Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti along with Katie Stazak. We've had some rain over yesterday for sure the whole day, so today we're going to be off the turf this afternoon, and our main track is starting listed as good to start the afternoon, so no turf racing this afternoon. So when you're getting your Rainbow Six ticket together, which starts in race number 3 on the 8th race card, remember, the main track listed is good, no turf racing today. Let's show you the carryover in the Rainbow Six. I believe it's a little over $8,000 today, and it starts, as I mentioned, race number 3. There you see it, $8,400. So we'll see how it goes. They've been hitting this thing lately since we had that long big carryover. They've zeroed in on the Rainbow Six. So 8 starts in race number 3 to the 8th race is what I was trying to say. So fun day.
Yeah, fun day, and you know what? It's hard to believe we're off the turf because it's very nice outside with the sun out. I'm pretty sure if it stays out and things stay dry, that main track will get upgraded to fast by the end of the day.
Yeah, I saw a couple exercise riders this morning when we were coming to the track. How's the track out there? They said the main track was fine, so you're right, probably throughout the afternoon. If it stays breezy like this and, sunny, partly sunny, it's certainly going to dry out, but there will be no turf racing today. But before we get to Wednesday's card, our 8-race card, we're going to go back and show you a race from Sunday. It was the Sunrise Handicap, and it was a pretty nice performance by the winner in that race.
Yeah, this is going to be the first stakes win for Celebrity Star. A really nice run to cap our exciting weekend here at Gulfstream in the Sunrise. And here she is, Celebrity Star, and this is under Tyler Gaffleone, who won his first stakes win in this race. So very exciting for him. He's been doing very well, and he's currently leading the jockey standings here at Gulfstream. And I talked to trainer David Casson after the race, and he was a little bit surprised at the win because there were some nice fillies and mares in that race, and he said that the race he expected there to be more speed in the race and that his mare would be sitting a little bit farther back, but she was right up on it. There wasn't a whole lot of speed in there, and then she cruised right on by. Congratulations to the Connections, a very nice win.
Yeah, the way I saw the race, the speed that I had mentioned in the race didn't materialize, so he set the bill, and little Lexus did not fire in that particular race, who was coming, grade 1 stakes play. So a pretty nice performance. Congratulations to Tyler Gaffleone. Boy, he's been riding in great form. So now that was Sunday. Now we're going to get to a Wednesday, and we have, of course, a 5-day race week this week, going Wednesday to Sunday. Our first race, originally scheduled for 5 furlongs on the turf, now to be run on that good main track. It's a starter optional claimer, 4-year-olds and up, $25,000. Scratch the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 8. Note the jockey on the number 6 is Jesus Rios, and please note that track announcer Peter Ayala will be coming on in a little while, updating you on all the scratches and jockey changes. We don't have them all right yet. It's a work in progress when they take them off the turf, but he'll let you. I did go with the number 9 up on top, and that's Dreaming of Nino, who was entered for the main track today, and his dream came true. It's making his first start since stalking the pace, weakening against, I thought, a tough group of $25,000 optional claimers. If you look at this horse's record, gelding on the wet track, 3 starts, a win, a second, and a third, and a 5-time winner on the dirt. So I just think this horse can translate that to the main track today. Thought it was the logical choice in their main track only.
He absolutely figures, and you have to put him on your ticket somewhere. I put him in second. I had Noble Prince on the ticket originally, not on top, but high up there, and I decided to give him the edge here. He does have 2 wins and 2 seconds from 6 starts over a wet track, so I think he can run well in this spot. He scored a nice wire-to-wire victory in a $16,000 optional claimer here on April 23rd, and I think that was a bit of a breakthrough win for him. He'd been running against tougher and some upper-level allowances, and he was coming close. He was 5th, only beaten 2 lengths against $62,000 optional claimers on April 1st. So I think he can build off of that last win and continue to run well on a surface that he is proven over.
Yeah, the only thing I couldn't figure out how he'll handle the turn back from that mile to the 5 furlongs today. Didn't know really where how the race shape would fit him. So I did put him on the ticket for all the reasons you mentioned. But in third, the horse I kept in second today was the 4 Trev, and this one figures on the dirt after a solid performance versus similar on a fast track in which he hopped at the start. He still finished third. Kirk Zadie Apprentice Harry Hernandez atop this previous winner on a wet track. So I just thought after performance, a proven commodity on a track with some moisture in it, I kept him on my ticket there. Noble Prince, you did have the number 7 on your ticket too, who I did not use.
Well, he also has a win on the main track and finished 2nd and 3rd in his 2 previous tries over a wet surface. So again, I thought he would figure in here. Kerry Zavash is the trainer, and Edgar Prado is going to be in the irons.
So we'll see how, and very important to watch how these first couple of races played today, and watch the track conditions, see if it's upgraded to fast as we go throughout the afternoon. Second race is on the main track, 1 mile claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 races in life or race in 6 months. 2 jockey changes in here. The number 2 horse will now be ridden by Arnie Fontanez, and note the number 6 will be ridden by Leroy Nelson, and the weight now will be 121 pounds. Boy, really hard not to have number 3, Bull-Headed Lady, on top of your ticket.
Absolutely. This one is taking a slight step up in class, though, but she decisively won her last start at the $6,250 level back on March 20th, scored by more than 5 lengths at this mile distance, and has 2 wins and a 3rd from 3 starts at a mile. Her only loss at the distance came after a 7-month layoff.
And we mentioned Tyler Gaffalione. He'll be in the saddle here today. And another thing, that last race, stepping up. But that race, particular race, 3 horses in that race came back to win their next start, and 0 for 1 on the wet track. So if there's a little bit of a caveat, that didn't run well on the off track, but certainly looks like the logical one to beat. And a good main track here. You know, I'm thinking with the wind, since it's been listed as good, I wouldn't be too enamored to say, oh, it's really wet. I don't think it's that wet. Like I said, talked to somebody about it, and they said it was drying out very nicely. The horse that we both were exact agreement here. We both have number 4, my Mom Santina, in 2nd.
Well, this one's going to be stretching out to a mile today after finishing 3rd in her last 2 starts at 6 furlongs. I look at her race 2 starts back. She finished just a half length behind a filly named Yes Miss Olga, who came back to romp by 8 lengths here last week and has won 3 of her last 4 starts. Also 3 for 4 in the money over a wet surface.
Yeah, I mean, she's run pretty good. She's got a victory on the wet track. 7 Holy Day is expected to show more after returning from an almost 5-month layoff to, finish 3rd against $6,250. That was open claimers. What I mean by that, multiple winners at this distance. Carlo Baccareza, the trainer, pretty good with horses making a 2nd start off of this layoff. He's around the 18%. Also another horse that's 0 for 1 on the wet track, so a little bit of a guess, but I think that's the 3 logical horses in there.
Completely agree. And the lone start over the main track was against Tougher, and I just didn't think it was a blatantly bad effort. I think there were excuses you could give them. Definitely figures in here.
Well, here's the exciting part of the afternoon. It is our first 2-year-old race of the year, and that is race number 3. The 2-year-olds have begun at Gulfstream Park. Always a fun time of the year, and this one, 4.5 furlongs. These are maiden filly 2-year-olds, and we have a scratch in here of number 1, Eden's Garden, and we'll have a jockey change on the number 8, as I mentioned at the top of the show. Peter Aiello will be here to update you on all that stuff there. I did go with the 2 in here, Silent Prayer, half-sister to multiple stakes winners, Sings Praises. Sings Praises, 6 for 6 in the money as a 2-year-old, making her career debut for trainer Stanley Gold. What I really like about this horse is a series of sharp workouts over the track showing. So I went with the number 2, Silent Prayer. I see you went with the 6, Chesin, and this one might come back to bite me because this is the king of the 2-year-olds who trains number 6, Chesin.
Trainer Stanley Gold does very well with his 2-year-olds, but trainer Wesley Ward is a force with 2-year-olds, especially early in the year. He has his 2-year-olds ready to go right away, right off the back. And this one is a daughter of Bring the Heat, who does very well with his debut runners. 21% winning percentage with his progeny that are 2-year-olds. 20% winning clip with his progeny in maiden special weights. Rafael Hernandez is in town to ride this one. I think she's going to be very tough, but I do love Silent Prayer, half sibling to Sing Praises. Was a big fan of that colt.
Yeah, Bring the Heat also trained, Bring the Heat trained by Wesley Ward. So every time Bring the Heat, you're in the winter meeting here, every time we saw Bring the Heat run, and that was not as a 2-year-old. They ran exceptionally well in those 5 furlong turf sprints. So he understands this sire very, very well. As I mentioned, he trained him. Number 5, Miss Stardust, is the daughter of Pomeroy, debuting for Phil Gleaves. 6 local workouts over the track, including a 3 furlong bullet back on April 8th and 36 flat. And I look at this, and this horse looks like it has the best breeding in the race for a wet track, being a daughter of Pomeroy. So I threw number 5, Miss Stardust, on my ticket.
I had to do the same thing, trained by Phil Gleaves. He won the English Channel Stakes on Saturday with Rizwan, doing well, and I love the looks of the works for this one.
Yeah, really nice works, and it looks steady work, Kevin. As I mentioned, Pomeroys do like a wet track. We're going to go to today's 4th race of the afternoon. This one is 1 mile and 1/16, originally scheduled for the turf, now to be run on a good main track. These are claimers. They're 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 races in life or race in 6 months or November 6th. Scratch the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 7. And I went with number 8, Holy Highway, but you went with the main track only in this one, and that is Cadillac Charm.
Another main track only participant from trainer Michael Petro's barn, going to get in, and I think this is just the perfect spot for him. He's going to be his first start off the claim for Petro. He does very well in that category, and this one finished a clear-cut second last time out in a starter allowance on April 17th. He's a 5-time winner on the dirt and has posted 2 seconds from 3 starts over a wet surface.
Yeah, you know, and the horse that beat him last time out, Squadron, what a hard-knocking campaign that horse is. So definitely the logical one in there, and this kicks off the pick 5 of the afternoon. So, you know, you've got the 2-year-olds in the first leg, a couple of horses, and I think Cadillac Charm might be the one to beat in there. You have to decide if you're going to sing it. But I did go with the number 8, Holy Highway, and I'll tell you when this one's going to try condition claimant competition after responding to a drop in competition with a 3rd place finish against $16,000 claimers going 7.5 furlongs, albeit that was on the turf. It's a gelded son of Holy Bull. You look at this horse. He's very versatile. He's had 8 races on the dirt. He's had 2 wins in 3/3, but he's also a 3-time winner on a synthetic surface, so I think he can handle anything they throw in front of him. The trainer is Antonio Sano. Manny Aguilar handing the stretch out today. They're smiling the 16th. The distance stays the same when they move to the turf, but they'll use the first finish line on the main track. So just so you know, when you're watching the race or when you're handicapping, that first finish line, I got a short run to the first turn, and they come up real quick to the finish line. So I kept 8, Holy Highway on top of my ticket. Cadillac Charm for all the reasons you meant. And you went with the number 4 in a second for all the marbles.
Yeah, this one's from the David Casson barn, who should be fresh for this start. He hasn't run since March 8th when he was just edged out by 3/4 of a length to El Chivo Viejo. That was at the $20,000 level, so stepping down slightly for this. He has a win over a wet surface. Now, El Chivo Viejo didn't come back to run all that well in his next start, but that was also turf horse taken off the grass and brought to the main track today. So we'll see how this one handles the surface, but I'm feeling more confident with him because he has won over it before.
Yeah, and with that said, the horse I have in 3rd, Muser, was game and defeat. He closed strongly to finish 2nd last time out, beaten 3/4 of the length, but that was on the turf. This horse has never been on either a wet or fast surface. I kept him on the ticket. I really liked his race last time out, but it's sort of a guess on my part.
I liked him too and took a good hard look at him, but for that reason, I couldn't put him on the ticket.
Well, you also used a 5. I'm looking down here. Dynamic Boy, 15-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, well, he's a 2-time winner on a wet surface, so have to like him. Luca Panici's been riding him, going to stay aboard for this start for trainer Monty Brisley, and he's going to be making his 2nd start off more than a 2-month freshening. Going to get some class relief as well. Think he should be better in the spot.
I don't think he'll be 15-1 either with the move to the main track, but it sounds pretty good when you got those 15-1 shots, especially when you're putting those multiple wagers together. Let's go to race number 5, 1 mile maiden claim with 3-year-olds. These are the claiming level is $50,000 down to $40,000. 2 scratches in here, 3 in the 4. And I know you wanted to go back and show race number 5. When was it? It was April 15th.
April 15th.
Yeah, April 15th.
And this is a race at this level. We're going to take a look at the 6 in this race. And this is really a colt that you really can't say a whole lot bad about. And this is Jugaton going to do it for the lead with Blackwater Charlie in this race. And once he's passed, he fights on, but then watch the jockey. He's going to not urge him in the final strides. He's just going to let him be. He knows he's not going to get by the winner. He's going to save him for another day. And I think that day could be today.
You're being very kind there. It looks like he misjudged and looked at the other finish line in that race. But I'm not saying that. I'm just thinking maybe that's what happened. We got those 2 finish lines over there, but you're right about that. I got Jukitan on my ticket, too. And remember that name, Blackwater Charlie, because I just finished in handicapping Friday's card, and Blackwater Charlie has a lot to do with a couple of races in the Rainbow Six sequence, but that's for another day. I kept the number 9, and you had the number 9 at the top of your ticket too, which we think is the logical one in here. You know, Tiger of Wales, turning back to 1 turn mile on the dirt, dropping to the $50,000 level. He returned from the layoff. He finished a stalk and fade 7 against state-bred maiden special weight competition on the turf. Mike Maker, the trainer, Tyler Gaffalione, combination today, drop down a surface switch.
Absolutely. I think all of those factors could be a winning combination for him today. Had to put him on top of the ticket. And the horse that finished second in that last start that he made on the dirt, that was a Bounding Legacy. He came back to break his maiden so impressively on the Florida Derby undercard. I like Jugoton, hasn't really run a bad race last time out, regardless of whether the jockey misjudged or if he was just let up, trying to be a little kind. He wasn't pushed the whole way. He could have been closer, but I think Tiger of Wales has the edge on top.
Well, the horse that you have in your ticket, and I do too, I like in here. I think this might be the sneaky, and that's the 5 Man of Fashion, making his first start. He really faced a strong field of maiden special weight runners back on February 7th, and that was a key race. You know, in that particular race, 4 horses came out to win their next start, and there were the really nice horses in that race. Ron Pellegrini is the trainer. Juan Lewa, this is the son of Corinthian, and that was a really strong race.
That was. Among the horses in that race, Unbridled Juan, who I think is very, very talented. And I think this son of Corinthian should really appreciate the stretch out to a mile as well.
And I think they're going to bet this horse. I really got a feeling. I think the key race aficionados are going to jump right on this thing, me being one of those. So
as they should.
As they should. It's a fun race. And, you know, that 5th race kicks off the final pick 4 of the afternoon. So 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yeah, I guessed it right. Isn't that funny? Now, we got some, you got to mark this down now because this is important here at Gulfstream Park. This race originally scheduled for 7.5 furlongs on the turf. When they schedule them for 7.5 furlongs on the turf, they revert back to 7 furlongs on the main track. So it becomes a 1-turn race. And this one is maiden claimants, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $16,000. And we want to go back and show you a race from Dee's Causeway last time out.
Yeah, well, Dee's Causeway has crossed the wire first. Should we have broken her maiden, but she's going to get disqualified. And it was definitely, you can understand why she was taken down. She's going to take the lead in the stretch, but going to end up drifting late. You can see the rider hits her with the left-handed whip there, and she's going to come out, and she's going to impede the horse to the outside. That's the 10, Enigma. Crosses the wire just a neck in front, so they said that was enough that maybe it would have cost Enigma a better position. They took her down, but I thought that was a nice race. She technically has already crossed the wire in front. She knows how to do it, and I think she can do it again today.
Always like those angles on that. You know, going back, here's something I always say, never bet a horse that's never done something before in the past. Well, here's a horse that won, was a little goofy in the stretch, but certainly won there. I did go with the number 7, Rose Graciela on top. This one was a logical choice to score after just getting nipped at the wire at this level and distance. But that was on the turf. But trainer Antonio Sano, Eddie Castro in the yards, I just think this horse, class-wise, even though that performance was on the turf last time out, I think this might be the logical horse. You know, we just have our exacta flip-flop in there, and I added the 10 Starship combo, and I guess you did too because that 3rd place finish.
Yeah, finished third on the main track on April 9th, and 3 starts back, she finished 2nd against $25,000 maiden claimers. I think she can return to that kind of form today in this spot.
Probably going to take most of the money in there. You know, even though we have it in 3rd spot, I'm thinking that even though, you know, that Starship combo, when they see how well she's run on the main track compared to the other horses. But I think you got to go a little deeper. And once again, want to remind you that this race now is 7 furlongs on the main track, and that is a 1-turn race. We're going to go to race number 7, 6 furlongs. These are claimers. They're fillies and mares. They're 4-year-olds and up. Non-winners of 3 races in life, $6,250. As we mentioned throughout the day, Jose Caraballo is not riding today, so there will be some jockey changes that Pete Aiello will give you in here. We both went with number 9, Honey Bunny Boo Boo. Looks like the logical one in here.
Yeah, definitely. Such a consistent filly. Has hit the board in 7 of her last 8 starts for trainer Michael Petro, and she was 2nd in her last start on April 19th to a filly named Language of Love, who was taking a big class drop for that race and was a clear-cut favorite. I think she was the best aside from that filly, and Jonathan Gonzalez has been riding very well. He's going to stay aboard for the start.
Well, you know, we have our 2nd and 3rd horses flip-flop, and one, Princess Belleron Call, now in the Randy Brassard Barn. Wheels back with only 7 days rest, looking to repeat that front-running score. That was against $6,250 two lifetime claimers. That was on a sealed, sloppy track. I'm thinking by this time of the afternoon that we're not going to be dealing with a sealed, sloppy track unless we get more rain. New connections, they keep it light. They keep it not light. They got status quo the same. They got Tyler Gaffalione in the saddle. The only thing I didn't like, was that short turnaround of 7 days.
Absolutely. That's why I couldn't put her any higher. But it was notable that the horse that I have in second, you have in third, Blue Temptation, Tyler Gaffalione rode both of them in their last starts, and he chose Princess Bella on call, so that could say something to you.
Right.
But I put the two, Blue Temptation in second, who finished third, only a length and a quarter behind Honey Bunny Boo Boo in her last start on April 19th. Another consistent runner, hit the board in 7 of her last 9 starts. Unlike Honey Bunny Boo Boo, she has the edge in that she's actually won at this distance.
She won at distance, and she's hit the board on the wet track too. But we're guessing what the track condition will be like by race number 7. If it stays like this, I guarantee it'll be fast. 8th race today was originally scheduled for 5 furlongs on the turf, now to be run on the main track. Claimers 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 races in life. Scratch the 5, the 7, the 8, and number 12. I kept the number 3, All About Diva, on top of my ticket, and I see that you did too.
Yeah, well, you broke his maiden on the main track here last December, so he knows how to win on the dirt. Finished second in his turf debut last time made on April 15th. I thought that was a really strong effort, only missed by 3/4 of a length at the level and distance. David Brady, I think he's got a nice shot today in this race. Eddie Castro is going to be aboard.
Yeah, and I mean, that was for $50,000 too that he broke his maiden. The horse that was my long shot today for the turf, I actually added him to my ticket here on the main track, and that's the one Smoky Bird. He makes his first start. He was facing 2 lifetime allowance competition up at Mountaineer in October, November. I have no idea how to translate two lifetime allowance competition to, this level of competition here, but he's a son of Birdstone. He's bred to love a track with some moisture in it. Looks like he has some speed. He's got the inside post position. He's a bit of a price, and I just think this horse, Miguel Vasquez, good rider. Maybe this horse can steal it in there. He's 12-1 in the morning line, but that 12-1 was when this horse was on the turf and everything like that. So sort of a guess with number 1, Smoky Bird.
I gave him a look, but I was concerned with making that translation from Mountaineer to here, and also with the time off. But I think that's a nice long shot. There are some questions, but he does have some nice form. I put the 10, Mr. 954, second on my ticket. He also broke his maiden on the main track, actually in his first career start here last October. He's been competing against tougher and should appreciate some class relief today against this group. He's going to be making his 3rd start of his current form cycle for trainer Angel Rodriguez.
Well, number 11, Spar City Treasure, stepping up after getting beat in neck on the dirt, is the favorite. That was against $6,250, 2 lifetime claimers, and I think the move to the dirt is a logical move for this horse. At 11, Spar City Treasure, a big price on the board, but that was for the turf. He was stepping up the competition. I think he can run well in this spot.
Completely agrees. 15-1 in the morning line, but again, like you mentioned earlier, I don't think he's going to stay that way at all.
No, because these odds are made for the turf and everything, and as you mentioned at the top of the show, they were not on the turf today, so it should be a real fun day of racing. And the big news today, of course, is the first 2-year-old race of the year. Can't wait. These horses are going to, go on and be in the Florida Sire Stakes. Some of them, you might see the winner of the Florida Sire Stakes today. Who knows?
All of these trainers say this is the most exciting time of year because these young horses have so much promise, and they've been working with them from day one, teaching them how to be race horses, and it's a very exciting time. Of course, our 2-year-old program will be highlighted by the Florida Sire Stakes. We have a filly division and an open division. They've got purse increases, boosts this year, and there are going to be some nice races here over the summer for the freshman runners. Looking forward to it today.
Well, have a good day today, and as we mentioned, we're dealing with the start today with a good main track. No turf racing this afternoon, but still, we should have a lot of fun. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck.